Hello and welcome into the Jefferson My Drinks Fantasy Podcast when we're on a mission to normalise 8-team leagues. I am Hallam Monk and I'm joined by Ian Harrison this week. Good
How's it
day,
going, okay?
Ian.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah. Wonderful, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm over the weekend now.
So I bet Pete isn't though, because Pete has been watching Bo Nix absolutely rip it up. Apparently he was caught saying "Let's ride," walking through Denver this week. So
I doubt that very much. Yeah. So for the people that are listening, you realise that H is leading the charge tonight. That's because Pete is currently in Denver. He went to the game over the weekend. It was a good game to go to as well.
Yeah, it was, and we were messaging him earlier, and he said it was a good game, and that Bo Nix looked quite good as well. So if he was a bit terrified about going to this one at the start of the season, but I bet he's quite happy now.
Yeah,
where do you want to start off this week? Should we start with a couple of trades that have gone through, or should we start with the "I'm too tired to play"?
I thought we'd start with Stefan Diggs for you.
Heartbreaking. Absolutely gutted.
Yeah,
absolutely gutted. He's playing well. He's from the sounds of what all of the staff and the players have been saying, he was a big influence on them. I'd be gutted if it is the end of his Texans career, because obviously he's only on a 1-year deal. I'd like to see him. Yeah, I'd like to see him come back, but it's that next man up mentality now, I suppose, and we're going to see, how good John Mechie is, how good Xavier Hutchinson is. So one of those two have got to step up into the wide receiver 3 role. I think the only blessing is the good news is Nico Collins is back running and should be activated for. He's not allowed to play against the Jets on Thursday night, but he should be back the week after. So that's the only positive, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a positive for John Mechie as well to get another opportunity, because we've seen him. He's had flashes.
Yeah,
he's had those games where he looks like he can do a job, and it's I'm happy for him that he's getting another opportunity, albeit in some terrible circumstances for Stefan Diggs.
Yeah, I think Mechie will hopefully get a few more reps. He pulled off a couple of quite big catches towards the end of that Colts game as well, stepping in for Diggs. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. Xavier Hutchinson's been preferred over Mechie, but it's one of them. I think it is next man up mentality, and that's literally what D'Amico Ryan said on his press conference earlier. So quick turnaround this week as well, which gives us an extra couple of days heading into the week after, because we're on the Thursday, Sunday this week. Yeah. And then, like I say, hopefully Nico Collins will be back for that trip to Detroit, I think it is. So, for that one. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So you guys snuck past the Colts this weekend.
Helps when someone just decides they're too tired to play.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen some ridiculous stuff, but Anthony Richardson taking a rep off because he was tired, and he was basically just avoiding a sack. He got 0 yards. He got himself back to the line of scrimmage, so he ran approximately 10 yards. Then took a rep off because he was tired, and it was a handoff to Jonathan Taylor anyway.
I just don't get it. Like, he had a terrible game as it was anyway. I think he was 10 of 31 for maybe 100 and something yards. Yeah. And 60 of them came to Alex Pierce.
With one of the most ridiculous interceptions from his own end zone as well.
Yeah, you don't throw that ball.
I mean, why is that? What's he seen there?
I don't know, but Jalen Petrie read it pretty well for us.
I don't think he needed any read. He just threw it straight to him.
I know. It was a bit of a mad game, really, because I thought the Colts were going to come on quite strong, and they just didn't. Richardson, I can't tell you how bad some of his throws were. Granted, there was a few where they were dropped passes. Like I'm not going to say every single pass was a drop pass, but there was a good handful where you're like, I don't know what you've seen there. So, yeah. And then to take a rep off because you're too tired, and he's only really rushed, I think he rushed for 40 positive yards, didn't he? Did get sacked a bit.
I think it's a 34 in the group. He
34,
rushed
yeah.
for 34 yards and he was tired. Come off
Yeah.
it. However, this might be the last time we talk about Richardson this season.
Big news.
Yeah, big news. He's been demoted to QB2. Joe Flacco is getting the nod from here on in. I don't know whether that's a knock-on effect from that rep he took off because he was tired. Is it his general attitude, or is it because he's just not that good? Because through 5 games, he's got a 44.4 completion rate. He's scored 4 touchdowns, thrown 7 interceptions, and fumbled 6 times.
Yeah.
In 5 games. So
2 against us as well.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's just tough to see a way back for him, unless Flacco gets injured.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Flacco stepped in the last couple of weeks and played really well. He did it last year for the Browns. Like it might be one of those where sitting and learning is kind of key for his development. But then you go, well, he sat all of last year and learned all of last year, and he's come back and maybe there's something to do with his injury as well. He was struggling to throw at the start of the year, according to reports. But yeah, he struggled this year. I thought he'd have a big year myself. I thought he'd be kind of the QB to really watch, but it doesn't look good for him, sadly.
No, but it does look good. It does look good for Pittman, Downs, and Pierce owners.
Yeah. So, hopefully Pittman, because he's been absolutely awful so far this year.
Well, Flacco loves Josh Downs.
Yeah.
So if you've got Josh Downs in your team, fire him up. Yeah. Absolutely. And then, in your deeper leagues, even Pierce. Like Pierce is one of his guys as well. It would just be nice to see Pittman have a good game, because I've got him in a couple of leagues and he's been quite disappointing so far this year.
I'd quite like to see AD Mitchell get a few extra targets as well, because some of his routes are really impressive and he just doesn't seem to get the ball. And it's like, I've got him in quite a few best ball leagues as well, so I'd love to see him sort of get a few more reps and a few more chances, but we'll see what happens. I think it's a good move for the Colts because they've got Jonathan Taylor, who is moving the ball freely. So they don't really need that extra rush of Richardson. I think, is it Granson? I think that's his name. He had a fairly decent game against us. He had a couple of half-decent runs as well. So, I think it's quite a positive change. I think the Colts are in that position where they can still make the playoffs. What are they, 4-4 at the moment? So it's not a million miles away.
No.
So a couple of wins and they're back in the hunt.
Yeah. So Richardson's done.
Yeah. Talking of receivers, though, there have been a few moves that we need to mention. So the one that was early last week that we didn't get, or that you two recorded on just before the move, was D-Hop to the Chiefs.
Yeah, so that got announced, I think, the day after we recorded, so that got missed. In a move that will have pleased Calvin Ridley, because he had a very public meltdown about not getting enough targets the week before. And he got 15 targets this week. Yeah. Which he turned into 10 receptions for 143 yards. So at least Calvin Ridley at the Titans will be buzzing. I think it's a good move from the Chiefs.
Yeah. I think it's a really positive move because is it Hollywood Brown? They're still not sure when he's going to be back. Rashee Rice is obviously injured and out. It makes sense to go and get an old seasoned vet. He might not have the speed that he once has, but he's definitely not lost the hands that he's got. So if you've got a quarterback like Mahomes who can find him, there's no better. On top of that, you've got a few other weapons around him with Kelsey. There's rumours Pacheco might be back at some point, or is it Pacheco or is it Edwards-Helaire? Can't remember. One of them. One of the running backs is coming back anyway.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Pacheco. Like he's recovering well from his horrific leg injury as well.
Yeah. So it's quite an interesting one. I think it's a good move. I think it's a real positive move for the Chiefs. And like I say, I mean, while they're now 7-0, they're looking good defensively. I think there's still a few question marks on the offense at the moment. So yeah, I think this helps them out massively. And then breaking news as we join the podcast is Diontae Johnson's traded to the Ravens in a 5th and 6th round swap, which still blows my mind.
That is
it's about 12 spots, I think somebody put out there. 12 spots the difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, it makes sense and it doesn't, in the fact that Panthers, they can cash in on Diontae Johnson because they don't even know who's going to play at quarterback for him. So does it matter if they've got a receiver? Probably not. But it's weird because they've only just acquired him from the Steelers. Steelers are short on receivers and they're not allowed to trade back for him. Yeah, anyway. So he had to go somewhere. And I like the fact the Ravens have done it because I think this is a knock-on effect from the Chiefs picking up D-Hop, because the Ravens have seen the Chiefs go, well, we're strengthening. And the Ravens have made this to like follow suit and go, hang on, this is going to be our year, not yours. So we're going to strengthen as well.
I know that I missed last week, but I also thought the similar kind of thing for the Bills. I feel like the Bills are kind of pushing a little bit all in, and picking up Amari Cooper was a real smart piece of business for him, because I think he gives. I mean, I saw it this week from the stats alone, or the last 2 weeks now. Is it he's played? No, 1 week into it.
No, he played 2 weeks. He scored his debut, didn't he? And then
he had a bad game this week, but he's massively helped out Keon Coleman, who's now seemingly getting a little bit more free and a few more targets, I think I read.
And also Kincaid.
And Kincaid, yeah. So I think it's a real. I think there are a few teams that are very much teams that you would expect to be trading. The Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills. You could throw in a couple in the NFC, the Vikings, maybe. Maybe not receivers, but just being involved in trades. You can see quite a lot of teams getting involved. So I think it's quite an interesting scenario at the moment, where I think Diontae Johnson going there kills Zay Flowers a little bit, but it also improves Diontae Johnson massively.
Yeah, so I'm actually hoping that it has the opposite effect on Zay Flowers. I think it might free him up a bit more, like you just said, with Amari Cooper going to the Bills. I think Zay Flowers, he's still going to be wide receiver 1. I mean, he's earned the right. He's had a big step up in year 2. And I think Zay Flowers and probably Mark Andrews are going to be a bit more productive rather than taking a step back, because Diontae Johnson's there as well.
He's a little bit of an upgrade on Rashad Bateman, who's the wide receiver 2 there. Like it's an upgrade, that. And considering what
Nelson Aguilar as well.
Yeah. I mean, Aguilar's had moments this year, but no one's picking him up in any kind of redraft league. I think the interesting factor is what happens with the Ravens, because I mean, this week just gone, that was a shock result. Like, even with Jameis Winston coming in, I did not expect them to go on and lose that. I still thought they'd do it. But what annoyed me the most is Derrick Henry rushed only 11 times and went for something like 79 yards. Why are you not just handing the ball off to this guy? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I understand you want to get a bit of air yards and stuff like that. I mean, Zay Flowers went for 130, I think it was. But Derrick Henry, like, you bring him in, he looks absolutely amazing. He is the best player, kind of, well, rushing-wise in the NFL at the moment. And then we go, oh, yeah, something's been really working. Let's change it and throw the ball instead. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah. Well, Pete asked me last week, or was it the week before, after we beat the Browns, and it was a low-scoring game. It's like, how are you only scoring? How was it so tight between you and the Browns? And strange things happen in divisional games.
Yeah. It's a bit of a... Yeah, still just didn't see it at all, but it is what it is, I suppose. Moving on to Q2, it's time to appreciate you. Who are we going with, Ian?
So my first one actually is one of my waiver wire targets that I said last week, and it's Cade Otton.
Nice. He had a good week. Big week.
At the Bucks where they've lost Mike Evans, they've lost Chris Godwin, looking for receivers. Someone's got to get the ball. I recommended Cade Otton, and he went for 9 receptions, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and was tight end 1 on the week.
Yeah, he had a really good week.
I do occasionally get one right. I mean, I talk a lot of nonsense, but sometimes I get one right.
Yeah. No, there was a good case for Cade Otton, especially with Evans out and Godwin out. And I listened to the pod. I really liked it, and I know one of our other friends, he didn't listen to it at that point, but he's messaged since to say, "Oh, I'm glad you agree," kind of thing. But no, Cade Otton had a really good game. I had one that was going to be my waiver pick, but I'm going to save it because he's my waiver pick this week, so I won't ruin that surprise for everyone. But it's quite obvious if you are in any of the leagues that we're in, because I picked him up in probably 4 or 5 of them. So I will go with everyone's favourite dad and quarterback Kirk Cousins had a stormer this week. 4 passing touchdowns. Can't remember his exact yardage. I think it was over 300 and 28.64 points. And it does fall quite nicely onto the fact that Kyle Pitts also had another stormer as well, because he ended up with 21 points, 2 touchdowns, and quite a lot of yards. And it seems like it's clicking in Atlanta now. But I am going to come on to another very soon.
Yeah, I mean, when you said everyone's favourite dad, I was like, who does Philip Rivers play for now?
Not everyone's dad, just everyone's favourite dad.
No, but while we're on quarterbacks, I know it was against us, but Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
16 of 20, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 rushing touchdowns.
Do you want to talk about those push touchdowns? Are you going to be as calm as you were on Sunday?
that first one, I'm still not convinced that first one broke the plane.
I thought it was his elbow that they kept circling.
Yeah. I'm still not convinced that he actually broke the plane on that first one, and that was a huge stop for us against the tush push from less than a yard out. So I'm a bit bitter about that. But in terms of the actual game, that game was lost through some horrendous play calling by Zach Taylor at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah,
when we're trailing by 1 score with a minute left in the third quarter. 4th and 1 on our own 40, 3rd and 1 on our own 40, and we end up going for it on 4th and 1 with some horrendous swing play. We turn the ball over. We're only down 1 score with a full quarter left to play. But it's glaringly obvious how little faith Zach Taylor has in our defense to get a stop.
I think it's not just that, though.
In 3 home games
is so poor as well.
Yeah. In 3 home games, we've only forced 4 punts. So we are not stopping teams scoring on us. And Zach Taylor, he's having his hand forced, and he's like, well, the D aren't going to stop him, so I've got to go for it.
Yeah. Those 4 points, the 4 punts, the back and forth punts with the Giants by chance.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
But we only forced 1 punt against the Eagles over the weekend. We only got 3 pressures on Jalen Hurts all game.
Yeah.
Our D, I know it was buzzing the other weeks. We got BJ Hill and Sheldon Rankins back, but our D is playing horrendously.
It's just
Lou Anarumo needs to be held to account. I mean, there was talks last year of Lou Anarumo being given head coaching jobs. We were buzzing to have kept him for another year, but I don't know what's going on there because it's the same personnel. We've not really lost anyone huge. It's just not clicking. Lou Anarumo needs to take some responsibility there.
Yeah, it's not quite right at the moment, and I can't get my head around it, to be honest. And I think missing T. Higgins was another huge one, because I had a look at the stats, and I think Jamar Chase had maybe 100 yards again. And then the next closest to him was 30 yards with Gesicki, if I remember right. Like
so Ja'Marr Chase went 9 of 11 for 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 20 points. But yeah, not having T. Higgins is a big miss. But we shouldn't have to be, 4th and 1 in our own 40. We should be able to punt it and trust that our deal gets stopped.
Yeah.
We're only 1 score down. And then the Eagles took that. They scored on us from there. And then they just ran away with it.
Yeah.
We never had a chance to get back in the game from there. So play calling and our D and our defensive schemes. And I think the fact we've got a rookie offensive coordinator as well, Dan Pitcher, who was the QB coach last year. He's taken over from Brian Callahan. And I think his playbook is really, really basic. I think he's come in, he's still learning the job, and he's come in with something that's so vanilla that there's no creativity. I mean, are you telling me that Andy Reid gets 2 plays to get 1 yard and doesn't come up with something where Mahomes just chucks something underneath to Travis Kelce? The Chiefs will run some absolute nonsense play for a yard, and we don't have that kind of ingenuity or invention about us because we've got a rookie OC.
But is that not on the head coach? Because he is an offensive head coach, and he also didn't let Callahan do the play calls for a long time either.
And it was Zach Taylor's call to go for it on 4th and 1 on over 40. So the coach, all of the coaching needs to be looked at, from the head coach, the offensive coordinator, to Lou Anarumo on the defensive side of the ball. It needs to be looked at. There needs to be a deep dive and investigation to what's going on there. And that's my rant. Yeah. That's my rant for the Bengals over.
I thought you said you were over it.
Yeah, well, that's until you got me going again. But former Bengal, who I'm appreciating, future Hall of Famer Joe Mixon.
Mate, I'm
Another
not even. I
game.
cannot tell you how good he makes us. Like, for me, I've said, like, I think Azeez Al-Shaair is probably the most underrated signing that we have. But that's only because everyone goes, yeah, Joe Mixon's absolutely cooking. It's his 4th full game. 4th time he's gone over 120 yards, not just 100 yards, 120 yards, and yet again has got a touchdown. I think he's only failed to get a touchdown in the game he went off injured. Like, absolutely, I don't think we've had a running back like him since Arian Foster. And, I mean, Foster was one of my favourite ever players to play. I think there's no one even close to, like, he's already there, which is just madness.
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming from a decent team, hasn't he?
Bah.
Well, when you put a running back like Joe Mixon behind a decent O-line.
We've had our moments with our O-line, though.
The year we've let him go is the year we fix the O-line.
Yeah. I think it's just
shame.
It's madness how, I mean, he's always been a good player, and I know that we gave a 7th round pick up for him just so that he didn't hit free agency, but it turned out to be an absolute gem, that. And yeah, I'm over the moon with it. He just keeps cooking, and yeah, just a different. He's just a different style of running back that we've needed for a long time. I think with our sort of scheme of the zonal running scheme, he seems to just find the gap every single time. And even when he doesn't quite find the gap, I don't know if you saw his touchdown, but he's running through 4 players and just running over them. So
he carried someone over the line, essentially, didn't he?
Yeah, it's class.
Yeah, I do. So, go on.
I have one quick one that I do want to shout out because he does get a lot of stick from the pod, but Stevenson had a great game. He got 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion. He only got 48 yards, but he also helped the Patriots get one over on the Jets. So I think Stevenson had a really good game. I think he got 20-odd points. So,
fair enough. I mean, when you said Stevenson, I thought you were talking about the cornerback of the Bears.
Oh, we should appreciate that.
Who absolutely handed the game to Washington, and I've never seen karma hit someone so quickly.
But it's not only that; it's him that tips it,
Yeah,
and it's his man that catches the ball as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh man, I
Unbelievable.
can't. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall on the team game review, because I think that would have been just brilliant to just go, what are you doing here?
Oh yeah, he'll be getting blasted on tape review this week.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that'll be like an internal team fine. There'll be cakes or something for that. But while we're on the Bears and moving on to hating on you, both DJ Moore and Keenan Allen made my list this week. 2 catches each, 27 yards for DJ Moore, 39 for Keenan Allen, 5.4, 5.9 points.
Yeah.
Just shocking. I mean, I know a lot of it has to do with the Bears O-line. I think Caleb Williams was the most pressured quarterback throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah.
So, you've got to assign some of the blame there, but the Bears, for all the talent that's around them, it's just not working.
It's weird because when it clicks really well. These games where you go, oh, it's going to be a close one, and the Bears have absolutely run away with it. And I'm pretty sure, are they 3-4 now, something like that, or 4-4? I can't remember. But they're right up in the hunt. But they're also last in the division, which is also.
Yeah. I really don't. I don't think they're in the hunt. Not the way they're playing.
Yeah, I think they're close. I think they're close to it. It wouldn't surprise me if they're on the graphic in a couple of weeks where it says kind of in the hunt. I don't think they'll get it. I think there's a few stronger teams in the NFC, and we'll appreciate on the fact that Jaden Daniels is absolutely cooking. That's for you, Boatman, so you can stop shouting at us that we destroy the Commanders. Commanders are playing really well.
Commanders are right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're playing really, really, really well. And Jaden Daniels looks like the absolute monster. So yeah. I kind of tip my cap because I thought probably of the 3, he may be the one that wasn't quite there. But that's more because I love Drake May. But yeah, all 3 of those quarterbacks and Bo Nix, to be fair, look like they are playing some good football and look like they could be in the NFL for a long time. But time will obviously tell. Any more hates?
Spencer Rattler does he?
That's a 6th round pick. 5th round pick.
Right, okay, fair enough then.
Come on, give me some more hates, or are you done?
Well, no, I've got 3 more players that let me down. Yoshi Vass.
Yeah.
0 of 3. He dropped a couple of big passes as well, which maybe would have affected the game, but I got 0 points from him, got a donut off him. Austin Eckler, 7 points, 52 yards, 2 receptions, nothing. And someone who's winding me up every week, and he's just meh this year, and it's Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I have Addison in 2 leagues, and I'm really disappointed that I picked him up. I'm like, I should have gone with someone else.
I'm at the point where I can't put him in my teams anymore.
Yeah.
I can't justify starting him. 2 of 3 for 22 yards. I mean, I get, obviously JJ's there. But last year, I know JJ was injured, but Jordan Addison was quality.
Mm. Yeah.
And even when JJ came back from his injury last year, Jordan Addison still produced.
Yeah.
He's just not doing it this year. And I think I think Hockenson might be back this week.
Should be, because I believe if they don't activate him by, I want to say tomorrow, it may even have passed, but if they don't activate him, he goes on a season-ending IR. But I believe he's been training and he's back and everything like that. So
yeah. I can't justify starting Addison anymore.
No, not anymore. I've got 2 big ones this week. 2 players that I've been really keen on as well. Kenneth Walker, who's had an outstanding year, only 8.5 points. He was 12 rushing yards and 4 of 5 for 33 yards. He also lost the goal line workout to Charbonnet. I know he was up against Sam Fram, but I still expected a little bit more. I feel like he should have got a bit more out of him as well. Then the other one is the player that 3 weeks ago was wide receiver 2. Then he was wide receiver 14, and he was wide receiver 9, and he was wide receiver 70 this week. And that's Drake London. who had an absolute stinker. He was 4 of 6 for 34 yards and only 7.4 points. So not a good week for those two either. But I'm still going to ride with them a little bit, I think. Move it on to quarter 3, and we're going all on game day to start this off. So, Ian, you were given AJ Brown as the captain. How do we get on as a pod?
Well, AJ Brown wasn't a great choice. He scored 26.8, so it wasn't a bad, it wasn't an awful choice. But 26.8 points for us from our captain. I did stack him with Jalen Hurts. It was QB1 of the week, 35.14 points. However, we were let down by, and I can't believe I picked him. You're going to shake your head when I tell you, Javonte Williams, who for some reason I thought might have a good game, even though I have slagged him off last year and this year. But for his price, I thought, yeah, go on, I'll have a bit of that. And then Amari Cooper, who only got 1.3. And I thought Amari Cooper might have had a better game.
Yeah.
Which means we finished 106 out of 306 for no money.
Nice.
No, I did have a personal win on the lower stakes.
I saw, yeah.
Because you can change your username now.
Yeah.
So you can look for usernames, all of that, yeah. Which, if we were doing the game that I did last year, would make my job a lot easier. Do you know, we had game day competitions.
Yeah.
It made my job a lot easier, but yeah, I had a win on there. So it's my turn to choose the captain. Your turn to pick the team.
Yep.
I was going to give you Jamar Chase against the Raiders for 7,600. But I thought at that price, I'm not giving you much budget left to build a strong team. And we are totally reliant on Chase going off there against the Raiders. So your captain is actually going to be Alvin Kamara against the Panthers for 6,800. It gives you an extra £800 in the budget to build a team.
Nice. I'm just going to state it now. I'm not going to double stack on the quarterback.
No. Derek Carr's expected to be back this week, mate.
Maybe then.
However, I wouldn't.
I also had a personal win again this week. So it's 3 weeks on the bounce. I was 69 out of 500 in the £3 game. But yeah. So this is the point of the pod where normally Pete takes over and gives us our Dynasty JMD JTT combo Dynasty update. I'll be honest, this is the point where everyone realizes me and Ian do not do any of this. And we go, I'm just going to brush over it because we both got knocked out this week. So congratulations to everyone who got through. Pete is going to provide the update and put it out there. But as we said, we have no idea what happens in the other leagues, to be honest. So
so in my league, well done to Ginger Mamba, who beat me in the league and in the cup this week. So he got a double whammy over me. So well done to him. I'm out the cup, which I don't mind because I wouldn't accept the prize anyway. Because
yes, you would. You liar.
Just that kind of guy. I mean, you have to be a real douchebag to accept the prize, wouldn't you, from a cup that you run.
Just on that, one, I don't run it, and two, London was awesome. Thanks for asking. So for anyone that did go, there's that I wouldn't be given the tickets. I was given the tickets. I had an absolutely amazing time, and I got to see Drake May. So that was enough for me anyway. But yeah, so what we're going to do instead is we're going to have a game of higher or lower. So it's going to be quick fire because I've done quite a lot, and I apologise that I've done quite a lot.
Okay.
But we'll get through them. I've got 4 positions: QB, RB, wide receiver, tight end. I'll give you, let's say, 5-10 seconds on each one. We're going to start off with the QBs because obviously that's the most important position. And we'll start off with number 16, which is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is currently QB 16, but is CJ Stroud. Oh, just a quick one caveat. Most of these players are JMD pod sort of players that we like. So there is, if you go, okay, oh, you always talk about these, that's why it is these.
Well, I'm going to tell you now that I do not like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, all right, maybe not liked, but he's discussed a lot.
I can respect him as a player and for what he's achieved in his career, but I do not like him.
Okay. Well, people we talk about then. So is CJ Stroud higher than 16 currently?
No.
Where are you going?
20.
CJ Stroud is currently QB 14. So, next one up, Geno Smith. Pete's love fetish from last season. Is Geno higher or lower than CJ Stroud?
Higher. Geno started the season really well. Yeah.
Geno is currently QB 10.
Oh, yes.
So you're 1-on-1. Next up, Bo Nix. Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. Pete's just watched him, told us he was good. He's got something there. Is he higher or lower than Geno Smith?
I think he's high. I think he's higher. I think Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback this year.
You'd be absolutely right. He's number 9.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at players like, Mahomes, who hasn't performed too well. Dak Prescott's been horrendous. Jordan Love's been injured. Caleb Williams has been Caleb Williams. Anthony Richardson has been Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I think, yeah, Bo Nix is top 10 quarterback.
Yes, absolutely. Is Kirk Cousins currently a top 10 quarterback after his QB1 this week?
No, Jalen Hurts.
QB2. QB2, sorry, because of Jalen Hurts. So Kirk Cousins, higher or lower?
Lower.
You'd be right. He is currently QB12.
Ooh, I was going to guess 11.
So the next one up is going to be Jared Goff. Higher or lower?
It's Jared Goff 11. Is he higher?
Is that what you're going with? You're going higher?
Yeah.
Higher by 1?
Yeah.
You're wrong. It's lower by 1. He's QB13. Your favourite quarterback in the NFL? Caleb Williams.
Oh, low. Like, he's going to be about 20.
Fairly close guess. 19 he is.
Right, yeah. There's no chance.
Jordan Love, who's missed 3 games, is he higher or lower? 2 games, sorry, isn't it? 2 games, my apologies. Higher or lower, games, Jordan Love?
He's higher than Caleb Williams. Even with missing 2 games, he's higher.
You are right, but probably not as close as you think it is.
That would not. Because I was confident then. I was very confident.
He's QB 18.
Oh, only one spot?
Only one spot. Those two games do make a huge difference, though.
Yeah, I thought
the last two are going to be Pete's favourite quarterbacks. We'll start off with Pat Mahomes. Is Patrick Mahomes currently better than QB 18? Higher or lower?
Lower. Lower. I'm gonna say he's between Jordan Love and Caleb Williams.
He can't be because Caleb Williams is 19 and he's 18.
Yeah, because I had it in my head that Caleb Williams was 20. Like, Mahomes hasn't had a great year, but I can't put a logical case together for him being worse than Caleb Williams. Although Caleb Williams did have 2 back-to-back decent weeks. No, I'm still going to go higher on Mahomes. 17.
Incorrect. He's currently 21. QB 21.
So as much as I've been slagging off Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes is worse.
At fantasy football. Let's just caveat that. Caveat that very quickly. And then finally, we'll wrap it up with another of Pete's favourites, Dak Prescott, higher or lower than Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he's got him stumped again.
Higher. It's higher than Mahomes. It's higher than Caleb Williams.
Okay, so you were right with one of them and wrong with the other. He's right in the middle of Mahomes and Caleb Williams. He's number 20. Yeah, it's 20. So I have also done just a quick one to the top 10s currently. So Lamar Jackson is 1, Baker Mayfield is 2, Jaden Daniels 3, Joe Allen 4. Joe Allen? Josh Allen.
The Welsh footballer.
No, yeah, he's had a great game. Joe Burrow 5, Jalen Hurts 6, Kyler Murray 7, Brock Purdy 8, Bo Nix 9, Geno Smith 10. Some surprising names in there for the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll move on quickly. We'll go to running backs and we'll start off again at RB16, who is Ian's number 1 running back in every league that he has got him in. DeAndre Swift. So it is, after his probably 2 or 3 really good weeks, is Najee Harris now ahead of DeAndre Swift, higher or lower?
It's higher. I think I saw something about this on socials today. If full disclosure, I think Najee Harris is about 12. Very
wrong. He's QB. He's RB19 on the year so far.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't spend that much time on socials.
Is J.K. Dobbins higher or lower than Najee Harris? Higher, just by 1, 18, J.K. Dobbins at the moment. So he's in between them. Another of Ian's absolute favourites, David Montgomery. Is that higher or lower than J.K. Dobbins?
Higher.
Just straight higher. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Higher. I think David Montgomery's knocking on the door top 10.
He's close to the top 10. Yeah, he's 12. So I'll give you that one. Chuba Hubbard, higher or lower?
I think he's, hang on, higher than 12.
Higher than 12, Chuba Hubbard.
Because he has basically been the only good thing at the Panthers. He's either 11 or 13, because he's close. I'm gonna go 13.
You're gonna go 13?
Yeah.
You should have gone with 11, mate.
Oh, come on.
James Cook. Higher or lower on James Cook? Just easy higher, that one. You didn't even think.
He's got to be top 10.
James Cook is top 10. He is number 8. Next one, Josh Jacobs.
He had a slow start to the year. Lower.
You'd be right. He's currently 10.
Oof, 2 off.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara, is he in the top 10?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. He's definitely top 5. Probably top 3. Is he?
Absolutely right. He's top 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, number 2. Right, so the next one
I'm going to say flat out Derrick Henry's number 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So should be an easy one now because you've just given me 1 and 2. Is Bijan Robinson higher or lower?
Well, yeah, lower.
Yeah, he's at number 4. So is Breece Hall higher or lower than Bijan Robinson at 4? Is he the man in the middle?
Lower. Saquon Barkley's got to be 3.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Breece Hall is currently number 7, Breece Hall.
Right. Okay.
We'll wrap it up with one of my favourites and then one of Pete's favourites again. So is Kenneth Walker, higher or lower than 7?
Lower, because he had 2 weeks out for injury for Charbonnet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he had his oblique injury, so he's lower.
Yeah, he's number 9. And then finally wrapping up, Pete's favourite running back, Karen. Karen higher or lower?
Karen higher. He scored 5 in 5. He's higher.
Yeah, he's number 5. So current top 10, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Karen Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs. I think that's a pretty that's a pretty solid list. The only one that you'd expect to see in there has been injured for the first 10 games this year, or he's going to be injured for the first 10 weeks. He's back week 10 in his CMC. Yeah. So
I think if Joe Mixon didn't miss 2 games, he'd be in there.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mixon was just outside.
3 games. 3 games Mixon's missed.
Yeah, 3. Well, 3.5. Well, 2.5.
Fair enough. Yeah.
3.5.
Anyway,
but yeah,
I didn't do too well on the quarterbacks, but
yeah,
smash that running back one.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. We'll quick fire these because we are properly out of time on this quarter, but we'll quick fire them. Wide receivers, we'll start off with Jaden Reed at number 10. Is Amon-Ra St. Brown higher or lower?
So we're going to quick fire this. I need to think about it. Higher.
He's number 11.
Oh.
So Garrett Wilson.
Higher.
He's number 6. I'll give you that one. Jamar Chase.
Higher. Wide receiver 1.
He is wide receiver 1, so that means CeeDee Lamb.
Lower.
Stephon Diggs.
Lower.
Number 8. Zay Flowers.
Lower.
Really? Yeah. You're actually. I thought that one when I wrote this out, I was like, that one might be the one that gets you there. Zay Flowers is wide receiver 16. DK Metcalf higher or lower?
Lower.
Higher, 15.
Oh, okay.
Just. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Higher.
18.
I was doing really well at the beginning.
Yeah. Lad McConkey.
Lower. He's only had one good game. Lower.
He has not only had one good game, I can assure you. He is lower, probably a little bit closer than you think. From 18 with Marvin Harrison Jr., he's 22.
Okay.
AJ Brown?
He's low. He's low, AJ Brown. He's lower.
Hello. Just a quick
25.
33.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale Robinson from 33, higher or lower?
Higher.
Number 20.
Yeah. He's been spammed.
Yeah. And then wrapping it up with my favourite player in the NFL, Nico Collins, who has missed 3 weeks. Is he higher or lower than 20?
I'm gonna say he's still higher than 20 because he was wide receiver 1 through 3 weeks, wasn't he?
He was wide receiver 1 through 5, I think. But
yeah. I'm gonna say higher than 20.
Yeah, number 14.
Yeah.
So current top 10 is Chase, Godwin, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr., Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Reed. Obviously, 2 of them are going to swap because Godwin and Stephon Diggs are out for the season. So
Brian Thomas Jr. being in there is incredible.
Just on that, right, the Jags need to have a serious look at themselves in the mirror because when I was watching it the other week, and I should have come up with this point earlier, he is wide receiver 3 there. He is, I don't know the exact snaps, and I reckon it's probably close, but he was off of the field more than Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis against the Pats. And every time he came on the field, he made a play, or at least looked like he was going to make a play, and they need to sort that out quickly, my opinion.
Well, that's why they might sort it because apparently Christian Kirk is on the move.
Done. Yeah. Wrapping it up, tight ends, we'll go real quick fire this time. Let's see if we can get it done in under 2 minutes.
Go on quick.
Tight end number 13, Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews.
Lower.
Number 11, Sam Laporta.
Lower. He's been terrible this year.
You are right. Number 16, David Njoku.
Higher.
By 1. Number 16. I said 17 Laporta, 16 Njoku. Hunter Henry.
Higher.
He is higher. He's number 10. Cade Otton.
Higher. And that's
number
all because
6.
of this week. That's all because of this week.
Yeah, number 6. Travis Kelce.
Lower. He's been terrible.
Number 7. Not that much terrible.
Oh, surprised.
Terrible. Yeah, no, 7 at the minute. Kyle Pitts.
Higher.
Where?
He's 5.
4. Good effort, though. Ooh. Trey McBride.
Higher.
Number 3. Brock Bowers, your favourite, to wrap it up.
He's higher. He's higher.
It's number 2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kittle's got to be number 1.
Yeah, Kittle 1, Bowers 2, McBride 3, Kyle Pitts 4, Tucker Kraft 5, Cade Otton 6, Travis Kelce 7, Cole Kmet 8, Zach Ertz at 9,
what
and
year
Hunter
is it?
Henry at 10. I know, yeah. Absolutely, mad. But yeah, right. I'm going to do the thing, even though I've run over by 10 minutes, but never mind. We'll wrap it up with Selection Nightmares. I think because there's only going to be 2 this week, it may go a little bit quicker, so that's why I could afford to run over as we go into quarter 3.
You've missed waivers off.
Oh yeah, waivers. Have you got any waiver claims? I even mentioned it before.
I've got 4. I'm assuming you've got none.
I've got 1. I've got the one that I had last week. Cedric Tillman. Tillman is massively becoming the wide receiver 1 at the Browns. I will state this. I do think there's a correlation with the fact that Jameis Winston and him were on essentially the what's it called? Practice squad games, not practice squad games.
Preseason.
No, the where you pretend to be the other team for the defense. Scout teams.
Scout teams.
So I think that they have that correlation, and then on top of that, they've now brought it into the NFL on a week-to-week basis. It's 2 weeks now he's gone as virtually the wide receiver 1 there in terms of targets, yards, and he's also getting touchdowns, which means he's a big red zone threat. And we know with Jameis, he likes to sling it, so he's going to sling it somewhere. And I had Tillman as my pickup last week. He's definitely this week. Yeah,
so Tillman's made me look a bit stupid this week because I told everyone to stock up on Jerry Jeudy. Jameis Winston came off the bench, threw almost half of his targets to Jerry Jeudy, and I thought that was a sign of things to come. But then this week it was Tillman. He had a career game with 7 catches for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Tillman was one of my 4, as was Jameis, who did something that Deshaun Watson has never done at the Browns. And thrown for over 300 yards. Yeah. So Jameis and Tillman should be picking them up. They could be a lot of fun.
Real.
Another pickup, and it might be a week too late for this, but Tyrone Tracy, who it looks like there's a changing of the guard over at the Giants. I think Devin Singletary might be done. He was fully fit. Devin Singletary had 18 less touches than Tyrone Tracy. Yeah. He went on to score 23 fantasy points. So he got a game this week against Washington as well. So the Washington D, who just gave up 129 yards to DeAndre Swift, so they can be run on.
Yeah, I think with that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, just real joke. So I mentioned this one a couple of weeks ago with Tracy, where he is someone that you could potentially stash, and he could turn out to be a little gem, and it's worked out that it's that next man up, and you never quite know with a rookie, but he was next man up. Singletary went down, and he didn't look back. So fair play to him. Good pick up that one.
My last one is I'm following my Cade Otton logic, and I'm going with Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I don't mind this one.
Yeah, he had his season best performance in terms of yards and fantasy points scored. No Diggs, no Nico Collins. Quick turnaround this week. Yeah, he's getting spammed.
So we'll wrap it. Oh, give me a selection nightmare. It's almost like I'm repeating myself. Apologies there if anyone heard my 2-year-old son joining the pod. But Ian, give us your selection nightmare.
Right, so my selection nightmare. There's only 2 teams on a bye this week, the Steelers and the Niners. So I'm not missing that many players. And I believe this might be the first time I've ever had a selection nightmare with this problem, because it's for a super flex spot. And I'm between either Jonathan Taylor versus the Vikings or CJ Stroud against the Jets.
Ooh.
So we've never had a QB versus running back for a super flex spot before. And this is a quandary because CJ Stroud is not putting them numbers up.
No. And he also, I know he only played, I think it's 2 quarters last year there, but he struggled really badly against the Jets.
And he's got no receivers.
He's got no Diggs. He's got no Nico Collins this week, so he only has Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. I'd lean towards Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, it feels weird putting a non-quarterback in a super flex spot. But Jonathan Taylor's against the Vikings, D.
The Vikings D have been strong this year, but I'm more leaning towards Jonathan Taylor, especially with the fact that they've got Flacco, who's going to sling it about, which obviously opens up the running lanes. So, and also Taylor is likely to get a rushing touchdown. So yeah, I would lean Taylor myself, and that is a bit weird because I don't think I've ever gone against a QB.
Yeah, fair enough then. Cheers.
I've got quite a fun one. 2 really good players. It's in our redraft league, in which I'm doing fairly well. I have obviously lost Stefon Diggs today, which means I have one of my flex spots available. And I had a look at who was on my bench this week, and it's quite amazing, my bench, to be fair. But I'm going James Cook or Garrett Wilson.
So Garrett Wilson is obviously against the Texans.
Yeah.
Who the Bills got?
I can't remember. I should have wrote this down, really.
You're supposed to come to me with this information, H.
Who the Bills got this week? I honestly cannot remember. I am so sorry.
You are absolutely useless. They're against the Dolphins.
Dolphins, who have,
which tells me straight away, you just go James Cook.
Well, no, because Dolphins Day are ranked quite high at the minute.
Have a look. It's still James Cook for me. Like the Jets, the Jets are struggling. Other than their D, they are just struggling to get anything going. I don't think they'll get it going against your D.
Okay.
I think James Cook against Miami has got more of a chance. But this also could be the week Amari Cooper opens it up for him.
All right. Go with it. I appreciate it.
No worries. That was nice and easy.
Yeah. Glad we did that.
Yeah, it's James Cook all day.
We'll wrap up this week by going through the charity primetime games, which I can't believe we did this, but the Cowboys let us down last week against the 49ers.
The Vikings let us down as well.
The Vikings as well, but I was more surprised that we went Cowboys.
We were dead and buried by Thursday night anyway, so...
Yeah. So this week, we've got only 3 games in prime time, but 2 of them is my team and Pete's team. So we've also then added in the Bengals game to make it a 4-fold. So first one up is the Jets versus the Texans. I'm going Jets.
I'm going with the Texans. I think the Jets can't get anything going, like I just said in the last section. And even without receivers, you'll just find a way. Like Mixon will have a good game. You'll get whatever you can out of Dalton Schultz, John Mechie, Tank Dell. I think you've got enough there to get through him.
we struggled massively there last year, so that's why I'm going there. But Pete did text us and say, yeah, Pete did text us and say he's going Texans as well. So we'll go with the Texans on that one. Colts versus the Vikings.
It's got to be Vikings at home.
Yeah, I think Pete went Vikings as well, didn't he?
Flacco playing kind of changes the landscape a little bit there.
Yeah, I was going to go Colts on this one because the Vikings have now lost 2 on a bounce. I like the Vikings a lot, but I think the Flacco situation really helps. If it was Richardson, I'd be all in on the Vikings, but I think Flacco changes it slightly. But I'm overruled because Pete has also gone Vikings on that one. Next one up is the Bengals versus the Raiders, which we said we're throwing in there.
Yeah. I mean, things are bad for the Bengals, but we've got to beat the Raiders.
Yeah, I think I would be gobsmacked if you lost that one. So clean sweep on that one as well, because Pete also went there. And then we've got the Bucks versus the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are 7-0. I don't think they're going to lose to the Bucks. Every season has Bucks. Yeah, it's got to be the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs, and then Pete also backed the Chiefs as well. So that is that. We'll get that one on there, and we'll probably lose. So we'll let you know who let us down next week. So remember, follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube, which is at JMD Pod, and then at JMD Pod on TikTok. Like, subscribe, and share. And if you're listening to this and you've never played Fantasy Game Day, make sure you sign up to that. Use promo code JMDFS, and you get your second week free on us. And any words of wisdom before we leave, Ian? Leave it with you.
I am wisdomless this week.
In that case, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.